I mean, right now, we're more entitled to receive that personal revelation than I think at any time in history. I really think that, because the universe and God, whatever you believe, has put us here to connect with others and to make a difference.
Hey, I'm Ronja Sakata, founder of the Joy Academy and Queen of Joy. That's how my friends call me. It's so important to me that my life is full of joy and that I enjoy every moment, because I know how fast it could be over. We can do so many things to bring joy in our lives, to create joy, and that's what this podcast is all about. I talk with people and they tell me how they bring joy to their everyday life and how they create a life full of joy. So let's dive right in, and please tell me after the episode what your takeaway is from this talk. Welcome, Darrin Barney, to the Joy podcast, to this video, this interview. And just tell us, who are you, what brings you joy, and how are you doing in life? And as we are recording this, it's a special time in March 2020, so that will have an influence on our conversation, maybe, but maybe it doesn't matter, because circumstances are not tied to creating joy. I like this mindset, and I'm sure you have this too. But first, who are you, and where do you live? And just tell us everything you want to tell the listeners and watchers.
Of course. Ronja, first off, I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this. I know your message is very important, and especially right now with all the fear in the world. It's so timely, and it's so needed right now. And I was so excited when we couldn't make it work before, and to now have it happen. I feel it's meant to be this way.
Yes.
And so,
I think so
thank
too.
you for letting me be here. My name is Darrin Barney. I'm from Grand Junction, Colorado. I have a couple different things that I do. I'm a husband and a father, first off. I really enjoy being with my family, and they're my pride and my joy. And then, of course, I run a business that's been doing for 20 years, and that's where I'm actually at today. Even though the world is in chaos, we still are having to service and take care of people's vehicles so that they can, take care of the things they need to take care of.
Of course.
I'm so very fortunate to be here. But also, I'm a business coach. Work for a company called Elite Worldwide and help automotive businesses improve their businesses. And then I also do personal coaching as well. I'm a certified high performance coach with Brandon Bouchard. And kind of enjoy life. And
we didn't meet there, but we met at
we did
event. Yeah, but I know and admire
through Bo Eason. Yeah. So that's my basics about me.
Yeah, you do so many things. You're so multi-talented. And I love that you say first, I'm a father and a husband. That's usually what women always say. I'm a mother of 4 before they even introduce themselves. So I like that you do that too. That shows your priorities, but also how, you have so many things balanced in your life. And as I know you, you are so radiant and cheerful. So I'm really curious, how do you bring joy, create joy in your everyday life? Because I think that's the big art we have to focus on, and also maybe some people have to learn it again to bring joy in their everyday life, because we don't know how this is going to continue with this virus thing, but we can decide our mood any day in any circumstances. So I'm really curious about your joy habits.
Well, once again, I feel this is really timely and important, because everybody right now is scared. I don't care who you are. I was talking with one of my clients yesterday. We were talking about business stuff, and he says, well, I just don't want to let my people go, and I've got to do this, and I'm so worried about this. And he really was talking personally, and it's like, I understand, but it's okay. Everybody in the entire world is going through this. It's okay. You're going to be okay. We just have to focus on the positive. I mean, what my favorite saying is, and I keep repeating it to myself, is we want to plan for the worst, but we want to expect the best.
Yeah.
Okay. right? I mean, that's what I keep telling my clients, but I keep telling friends and people that are coming by to see us at the shop. And it's like, we need to think and plan about, what would be a worst case scenario for me and my family? What do we need to do here? But we also have to expect really good things, right? If we are quarantined in our homes, I mean, a lot of the world is stuck in their homes, right? It hasn't hit our neck of the woods yet. And so if you're stuck in your home with your family, make the best of it, right? Conserve your food, your water, do these things that you need to do. But we need to be planning for the future and talking with your kids about the trip that you're going to take next summer, and look for things to look forward to, right? I mean, gratitude is number one right now, because I'm not going to be a softie and say that, we need to be thankful for everything, but we do, right?
Yeah. And ultimately, we, as it's about sickness and everything, just being alive is, you can be grateful. If there is nothing else, it's like, I'm breathing, my heart is beating, that's so good, and I'm here. And if you're stuck at home with your family, that can be such a gift to have this time together. Or you can fight all day long from morning to evening. But again, that's that you can decide. That's something I love so much. Like, you can decide, and from one minute to another, because you made your decision, it can be a total different situation, even though the situation didn't change. So that's very powerful.
And in the times of struggle and challenge, for myself, I found that when I start with a plan each day, and some people plan the night before, me personally, I review my day at the end of the day, and the beginning of the day is when I plan out what I'm going to do for that day. And I really like to do that, because as I'm writing my stuff down that I'm going to do, it gives me something to look forward to. I mean, I was looking forward to speaking with you today, right? And I wrote that down this morning, and it's like, wow, I'm so excited to speak with Ronja today. This is awesome. Right?
And it
gives you that excitement. And after you,
with the internet from America, like when my father was in America, when I was a kid, we had like 4 minutes, and that cost on the telephone, and the connection was so bad, and it cost like $30 for 3 minutes, And now we can talk over an hour or whatever, and it's just so amazing that this is possible.
It's really cool. And it's really neat. And to be able to have the freedom to be able to be anywhere in the world. I'm talking with you in Switzerland, right? I mean, how cool is that?
It's
really,
and
that opportunity, though, is there. We can FaceTime with friends, right? I mean, people, even though we're stuck in our homes, we can still reach out. We can still talk to people. We can still communicate with our mothers and our fathers and our brothers and our sisters and all these people that we love and care for. So we may be in this hard time of kind of getting back to basics and everything, but my goodness, what a great opportunity to reconnect with everybody. Reach out to those people you haven't talked to for a while. They're just as lonely as you are, right?
Or
they
write
need to have
some
a little
letters,
sunlight in your life.
Like handwritten letters in the mail. Right. Oh, like one friend of me, she's always writing letters, and she said, that's the time now for writing letters. How nice is that?
It is. Yeah. What a great feeling to actually get one of those and open it up. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is special.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity, though, to, once again, start with a plan and plan out what you're going to do for the day. Don't just sit there and tune into Netflix. There's nothing wrong with that, but my goodness, we were made to live. And even though maybe stuck in confines of the parameters that are in place right now, we still have to look for a bright future, because it's coming. We don't know how long this is going to be. Nobody knows, but we do know it's coming. There's bright days coming ahead, right? The sun always shines. It always rises. So,
and I think if we see the opportunity of these huge impacts from all over, the personal connection is what we live for. We are still cavemen and women. We like to be together and tell stories. And I think going out and meeting friends and going to the cinema and all these distractions, I love going to the cinema and I love meeting friends, but the quality is now increased because it's not so available. And also traveling and just the borders are closed. What? We are, I think, the looking back and what we had and what we will have, I hope so soon, gratitude is like going up and up if you focus on that. If you focus on panic, it's really hard. I think
it is.
Everybody's allowed to have a panic attack, but like after that, like what do I do now? Like what do I want to focus on?
So we gotta have that plan, right?
Just to plan your day now, stuck at home. Like you have your job, have an important role in the whole system. I think this nobody needs me now and I'm not important anymore feeling could be a problem for a lot of people. So what would you like? You would suggest to plan your day even though you're stuck at home. How would you do that?
Well, I mean, that's to start. I would recommend that. I mean, there's many different ways you could approach this, right? For me, my number one thing this morning was how I was going to make a difference today.
Yeah.
Okay. How am I going to be optimistic and how am I going to make a difference today? Because I've got a team of employees that are here, and I had to let some of them go yesterday, and that's very difficult because these are part of my family, and one of the guys has been with me for a couple of years, but I explained it's like, this is just what we have to do. You're going to do a claim on unemployment, and we have to do these things, but it's a positive thing, and you'll claim unemployment. It's okay. We're going to sustain and keep things going. We got to look for a brighter future. And so I've got to be optimistic today because my team is concerned. Everybody's like, oh my goodness, wow, this is scary. This is real. And it's like, yeah, the rest of the world, just our little bubble here is not yet, but everybody else in the world's in really tight lockdown. We're reading about it, but it's starting to become real. And it's something that we have to go and start daily. I mean, just start with a list of 3 things you want to do for the day. Okay. So, I mean, today, once again, mine first one on the list is, besides my other personal things, but was to speak with you, right? I mean, and I was so excited because this is a perfect time for us to get this message out that it's okay. I mean, that's what we need right now, rather than everybody I talk to, everybody that calls and is concerned is like, man, oh my goodness, what's going on here? What's going to happen? And it's like, I don't know, it's okay. We'll make it through, right? So start with that simple little step of, what can I do today? What are 3 things I can do? Let's plan for the future. Let's plan a future vacation with our family. We came back from Salubra, which is in Puerto Rico. We were there in February, and we have been talking as a family of going back, right? Because we had such a great time. We rode in this little plane and flew out to this little island, and I mean, it was so cheap to go there. And it was like, oh my goodness, this is cool. We walked on the beach, and there was nobody there, and there's a tank in the water, and it's just like, we were talking about it though, and it's like we're dreaming about the future. I don't know what it holds, but my goodness, the joy that comes into my kids' eyes when they talk about going back and being around this tank and walking in the sand and snorkeling and just being alive is great because, yeah, they're stuck at home with my wife and they're stuck in their house, right? And yeah, they're doing all kinds of stuff around the house to clean and get stuff, straightened up, but they still need to have that breath of light when I come home. And it's like, okay, guys, well, let's talk about what are we going to plan for next, or where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Let's look for a bright future. I mean, plan for stuff. We don't know what the future holds, but let's look for it, right?
Before you started to say, expect the worst, expect the best, plan for worst case. So you're actually, I don't like to plan for worst case. I know you should, but I think it's so much more beneficial to focus on the best case. And if it's the worst case, I know if you have a business like you need to have these parts and these, like you have to have these things ready for worst case or things like that. It's not applicable for any business, but basically like expect the best and the chance that the best or something even better or something a less better, but like it's just the better solution to focus on the positive than the negative.
It is.
So at home, you plan for the best and you expect the best.
We can, but see, we have to be really careful though. And this is really important. This is very important, is that we think about what is the worst case scenario that can happen, and we address that and fix that and come up with a plan. Okay? Because if you don't plan for it and you don't think about it, you don't dwell on it. This is very important, but we have to think about, okay, what happens if we're stuck in our homes for 3 months?
Okay, you mean things like that.
Okay.
You could go for worst case scenario is like every day you could have the worst scenario is like a plane will crash into our house. That, and
of course.
You can't
control that.
Yeah.
You
so
can't.
You mean like,
but we can't control this virus either.
Yeah, we can absolutely. But like the worst case is 3.
But I need it. But
and let's do smart decisions for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if you have, let's just say that you have some food at home, right? And you chow through all of that and you don't think about the future, you just think that there's always going to be food available, then you eat all that food, rather than if we start to ration things out and we have a little less meat in our spaghetti or whatever it is, and we just think proactively. That's the thing, is that we just want to think about, okay, well, if this happens, what are we going to do to be ready for that? And then once it's dealt with, then you move on. Like I said, we've talked as a family what we think the worst case is going to be, and we've prepared for that. Now we're talking about these fun things of going on trips. We're talking about going for bike rides. We're talking about all these other things because we've already thought about what we feel as a family is something we need to be prepared for. And now we've dealt with it. It's okay. As these things happen, we'll deal with them accordingly. But if you continue to dwell and think about all this negativity, it's only going to increase, right? And if we just live in the sky and happiness, we haven't dealt with, oh, wow, we are out of water. What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Right? We have to just think a little bit ahead. It's like, and then, we do not want to, once again, don't want to dwell on the negative, but it's important to think it out and have a plan. I can't, like you said, the plane crashing, you can't plan for that, right? But we can plan it. We know that we don't know how long this is going to last. Nobody knows. So let's think about, okay, well, if we do have to stay in our homes for 3 months or whatever it may be, 3 weeks, whatever, what do we need to make that work with what we have, Okay, well, let's just start thinking conservatively. Toilet paper, right? Okay, let's just not use so much when we go, whatever it may be, right? And I mean, seriously, I have a 3-year-old in our house, right? A 3, 11, and a 13-year-old. And it's like, we have to have that discussion. It's like, okay, well, let's just think about this here. We need to turn off all the lights in the room when you leave. All those things we should be doing anyway. But it's like, now we're being forced to, let's just proactively think about it. Okay, now let's be happy. We're together as a family. Oh my goodness, we've dealt with the basics. Let's
think
move on.
That's so important too. You can have difficult discussions with your family if like the love and the whole circumstances are like stable. And I know not everybody is fortunate to have that, but if you have to celebrate, like, we're a family, we can do difficult things together too, and then we can have fun too. Like, this balance that's life always. I mean, if somebody dies in your family, if somebody is sick, you can have fun times even though circumstances are hard. I think that's one of the messages of these times now. We don't have to feel miserable all the time. That's not helping, but like, let's choose how to step up and what you said in the morning, how can I make a difference? I think that's genius, like, that gives the whole day a framework of purpose and like a direction or a goal. You can call somebody, you can go shopping for somebody who's not allowed to leave the house because of health condition. You can do so many things.
Right.
Be of service and have a purpose in this day. That's so cool. It helps a lot.
And it's just so important.
With the heaviness, or if you go into action, something happens. It's lighter after doing things to change little or big things.
Well, something I think is really relevant and important is that we are leaders. God or the universe or whatever you believe put us in this position where we're at right now. You, Ronja, have been put here at this time and this point in your life, with you preparing this message for years now, to bring joy and happiness, right? Do you think it just happened to be that you're here right now having this conversation with me about joy and happiness?
Yeah, that's like, I really believe that. I believe that deeply. I know other people are more into coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences at all. It's like a big, great plan is happening. And I think this virus, which is so difficult, has a purpose too, because look what's happening on this solidarity. Yeah. Do you say solidarity in English? Is that the same word?
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's huge what's happening. We had a note on the door of our apartment building from the young Catholic church, like we help out with dog walks and shopping and babysitting. How cool is that? That would never have happened before. So I love to see how the world is getting closer, even though we're not allowed to see each other. It's yeah, but I know it's hard if you don't know how to put food on your table tomorrow. It's not so fun to talk like, yeah, Joy, thank you. Like, what would we say these guys, you know? What do you say? Go first.
Well, I'm going to go back to the whole thing of what I was just saying a second ago, is that we are the captains of the ship in our individual homes and our families and our lives around us, right? If we focus on the negative and we're only telling people the negative rumors that we've heard, and I've heard that this is happening, and I've heard that this is happening, I've heard this is happening, we're not going to spread that joy. So once again, I explained that we've talked as a family what the negatives are, right? Remember, I have a 3-year-old. And so on Monday night, I came home from work, and my son meets me outside. I pull up in the driveway, and he comes out, and he's just kind of in tears. He said, "Dad, can I go for a ride?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure, buddy." So I load him up and put him in the car, and I said, where do you want to go? He says, "I just want to drive." And I'm like, okay. I mean, this is a 3-year-old, remember? You know, so the comprehension is just not there yet, but he's taking in all the negative stuff that's been going on that brother and sister and mom and dad have all been talking about, right? So he's like, "I'm just lonely," because he normally comes to work with my wife and I and hangs out in the shop and meets people every day. So he says, "I'm just lonely, Dad." So I'm like, okay, well, so I said, "It's okay. Let's go for a drive." So as we're driving, and he tells me this, I said, "Well, let's just call a few of our friends that live near us, and let's just have them come out, and they'll come on their front doorsteps and wave at us."
Aww.
You know, so I called 4 or 5 different friends that have families, and they all, as we drove by, I rolled his window down, and they're all coming out and waving at him, and he waved, and it just, he felt then that he was connected again, right? You know, and he felt like the world's okay, because in our little bubble in our house, it's like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Dad's gone, but Mom's here, and she's kind of freaking out, and the kids are freaking out, and you know, all this stuff is going on, and it's like, we need to be positive. We need to be that leader. And I realized at that point, when I brought him back to the house and we went in and had dinner and all those things, and we're talking, and it's like, I got to be a better role model and example. Like I said, we've talked about what we think the worst can be. Who knows if it'll probably be worse or better? Who knows? We don't know, but we've thought about it. And we have a plan. It's okay. We have a plan in place. Now let's just move forward. Let's be forward. I'm going to come home at night, and I'm going to be so happy and positive when I talk to them. And I'm going to say, "I missed you guys so much today. Tell me what you did, and let's just disconnect like we should be doing anyway." But yeah. I think it's important that we keep that positive as leaders once again.
And it's
my
so
team
cool that
comes
your
to me and they want to know what's
3-year-old
going on.
could,
so
your 3-year-old could address like his need of like connection and tell you what the issue is. That's great.
He's, you know, like, he's not a normal 3-year-old. He's a real.
I like to look at him on Facebook. Your pictures are so great, and your family is so. It's just nice to experience your love on the pictures. You know, that's really brightening up my day. So
that was really cool. Is that? Go ahead.
What did you want to say?
Well, just on Sunday, I just wanted to share something that was really, I thought was neat, is that we had our church that we go to was canceled, right? Everybody's, you know, canceled, so they're staying doing church at home. So we were at church at home. We were doing our own little church service, and Adam gets up and he says, well, he wants to talk and share a message with us. That's the 3-year-old. So he grabs his little scriptures and he's holding them, and he says, if you pray, you won't be sad.
You won't be?
And he folds the book and he sits back down. If you pray, you won't be sad. Sad. S-A-D, sad. You know, as in cry.
Oh, no, sad. I thought fat, like.
Sad. No.
Oh.
And so, I mean, that right now, I feel that's really important, though. It doesn't matter. Once again, I'm not going to get into some religious debate with anybody. It's a personal thing. But I do believe in a higher power for me, right? Some people believe in the universe. It doesn't matter. But that, whatever you want to pray to seek that guidance and strength in your life, do it. If you're having a hard time coming up with a meal, if you're having a hard time doing these things, you're stuck in your home, you can't do a lot about it. What does it hurt to pray to God, to the universe, to whatever it is that you believe in, and ask for a little bit of extra guidance. I do know that there's a higher power. There's no doubt in my mind. And what your higher power is up to you, but there is a higher power. And so it's easy for me to say that, you know, being that I'm not stuck in our home right now, but I do know from personal stuff that's happened with me. I have gone through suicide. I've gone through all these major losses, as have everyone, but I know that greater power has helped me through things, has got me to where I am today, has got you to where you are today. Once again, whether that's God or the universe or Buddha or, you know, whatever it is to you, that's a personal thing, but we need to look to that higher power to give us a little bit extra guidance to know, okay, just like we need that. We all need that.
And this guidance can be just a little idea, you know. I think,
of course,
you know, is this the story, you know, that are you telling that in America too, like the guy on the roof of the floated town, like, please God save me, and then a helicopter comes by and he says, no, I'll be safe by God, and then he dies, and God says, I send you a helicopter and a boat and whatever else, and you didn't go in. So we need to do our part. I like the term, like, meet the universe halfway. If you just pray or ask for help and do nothing, it's like, yeah, well, you should, like, move your ass too. But I know it's easier said when you're fine, you know. But even though it's very hard, wherever you are, you have the power to do things. You can reach out. You can. Asking for help is sometimes, for people, it's so difficult that they rather, like, don't ask for help and be alone or starve, or, you know, people are really ready to help. So ask for help.
Yes.
Also, if you feel mentally, like, not well, just ask for help. Anybody, like somebody on the street, this person could be the best angel on earth, you know, you don't know, but you have to ask for help. I think and I think this whole situation helps for that too. Like, we can help random people anytime, but now especially, and we can ask random people for help. And if they say no, that's the worst it can be. It's like, ask the next person.
Well, and there's we're so connected, right? Between Facebook and Instagram and all these different things that people are using, we're so connected. If you need help, reach out. There's Facebook communities all over the place dealing with this virus, right? And it's like, all you need to do is ask.
Yeah.
You know, you have to ask. There's people around that are ready and willing to help, but they don't know you need help if you don't ask. Yeah. And going and putting a post on your wall is the first step.
Yeah.
Write something on there. What, are you too prideful? Just ask. It's okay, right?
And
especially right now.
You showing your vulnerability, that's a hard word for me to say, is really helping others to, like, oh wow, she asked, he asked, I could do that too because of another topic maybe, or whatever. It's so important that we connect more. And I was preaching that before this whole crisis, and now I think it's kind of obvious, and
even more relevant.
It's happening so fast, and it's beautiful to watch how people are connecting and helping each other. And I read an article this morning about a future, I don't know how to say that in English, like he's researching about the future and how we approach future, and this whole, it's like a very academic, he used a lot of academic words, and I don't remember the word for the thing that you imagine yourself in the future and you look back. That's kind of, there is a technical official term for that it's easier from here to look into the future. It's like panic or nothing good will happen ever again.
Of course.
But imagine yourself like this year in December and looking back on this spring, you you relax and you're like, oh, okay, so it's Christmas now and we got through, you know, it helps to imagine the different steps you took to, the world took it, and you personally took the steps. And then somebody asked him, when will it be normal again, like before? And he said, it will never be like before again. It's something is happening now. And I think besides all the really the struggle of people who have no money or like the business is closed. I mean, in Switzerland, all the businesses are closed, all the stores. That's really hard, but we will find a solution for that. And other than that, this world is, for me, it will be a better place than before. That's really what I think, what I believe.
Yeah. I agree. It is going to be better than it was before.
And it's worldwide, you know. And I think it started with the fires in Australia. This whole support worldwide for this continent was so huge. That was beautiful too. Not the fires were beautiful, but did you see pictures from the jungle, from the woods there? It's like growing out of the black branches. It's so beautiful. And this worldwide support for this crisis, and now we have a worldwide crisis. It's crazy, it's hard, but
it is.
We will change to better people by this. I'm really sure.
We have to. And that goes back to, once again, well, we have to be leaders, though. We have to be leaders, not only for our families, but for our friends and for each other, right? If we would have started this whole talk today with talking about all of the negative and the fearful stuff that we've heard, this whole conversation would have been entirely different, right? Right now, I feel good. It's okay. We're good. We got this. We'll make it through. I don't know what the future holds, but it's okay. We're good. But if we focus on the negative and we spread that negative, it's only going to get worse for us inside, right? We can't listen to the universe giving us guidance or God giving us guidance if we're that negative and wrapped up in all the negativities of the world. We really have to be a good leader. Post some positivity on Facebook. I love the people. I just watched one yesterday with Brad Paisley on Facebook, and he did a Facebook Live, and he did a concert from his living room. And it's like, that is the coolest thing. He's still able to give his art and lift people up from his house, right? We have the medium, we have Facebook and Instagram, all these things, Twitter, whatever, all that stuff all together to share, to be positive. I mean, share the things that you're doing at home with your family and your kids. Share what you're doing in your different places. What's going on in your personal life? My mom is home alone right now, right? And I talk to her every day. She's been at home for a week and a half in her house, and she's just like, you know, still going through all of her genealogy. And she's doing all these things. She's making a difference. And it's like, we need to keep doing that. Keep being positive and happy. It doesn't help to spread the hate and discontent. There's enough of that in the world. Don't need any more of that. We need to focus on, okay, let's enjoy what we have. Let's enjoy this connection, Ronja. I mean, you and I are buddies, you know, there's this great friendship here. And I had this picture of you and I together with the sandwich, and we're both just grinning. And I just love that picture because it's like, we're so happy, you know? And it's like, you tell me, it's like, you've got to straighten up your neck. You got to straighten up your neck and keep your neck up, you know? And it's like, I know the posture thing, right?
Are you thinking of me every
day?
But
it's something that, yeah, of course, because I got to keep my back straight, you know? But it's one of those things that we got to keep that joy up, just like you brought that to me, you know? And that's what we're doing together. We're bringing up the positivity in the world. We have to be more positive. We have to be good leaders.
And you know, if you now listening and think like, I'm not a leader, what are you talking about? You can do so many things at home. Even if you're alone at home, you can write a book, you can read all your books, you can read online, you can do all the things you were like distracted or just too busy to do now, and write down what you would like to do the whole day or these weeks or how long it will be. And I mean, with kids or even teenagers, you can do, I have one father I'm following in Germany. They do a kind of a quiz contest. They have, I think, a book, and they're doing like, is that a rally? Like a contest? Who has more points? And right. He is now on 4th place, like last of the family. Like, who had this stupid idea of this contest? I'm losing. And the points go up and up. They're like now 1,500 is the highest score. And just his post of this chalkboard is so fun to look at. And then his comment, of course, you can do fun things even though you have nothing at home. You can or just get very, very fit and healthy with push-ups and squats, and all these are for free too. You have all the possibilities, but you have to choose them. That's again the decision to make
you have
this
to choose
time
your day.
a great time and build some memories, like cool memories to look back as a family, even as an individual. Like, that was a time where I lost, I don't know, 50 pounds or whatever. You know, you can do so many things. Don't stop dreaming on awesome things even though you're stuck at home.
Right. We get to choose our day.
Yes. And how can
we get to choose our day, you know?
How can I be of service today? That was your sentence, or what was it again?
Yes.
Yeah.
How can I serve today? Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I make a difference? I mean, that's, for me, it's how can I make a difference.
I think that's even nicer to hear. Like, how can I make a difference? It can be a little difference, but if you call the friend you know who is not so mentally stable, that makes a huge difference, because he or she might think like, I'm worthless, nobody loves me.
Of course.
And you just call and it's like, wow, she thought of me, and they even called, and you make a difference with little things. You don't have to write a book or invent a new technology. You can just call somebody. That's really...
Yes, you can. I mean, right now, we're more entitled to receive that personal revelation than I think at any time in history. I really think that, because the universe and God, whatever, once again, whatever you believe, has put us here to connect with others and to make a difference. And if you think of someone, reach out to them.
And to make
lift them up a little bit and give some positive news.
Make memories, you know, you can build a book club online. Zoom, this tool we're using, is free. I don't know, to up to 10 persons for 40 minutes. And if you're not done after 40 minutes, you just call again, but it's free. That's so amazing. You need internet. That's the thing. If you don't have internet.
Yeah.
And then you now can't go to Starbucks anymore. That's kind of like, that's a circumstance. You can,
right.
You can.
But we're going to look back on this, Ronja, and we're going to say we lived through that. We're living through something that no other generation has gone through. I mean, recently anyway, you know, of what we're going through, right? We've had all kinds of big struggles and trials, but this is something that worldwide we're all going through. We're going back to a reset, you know, for our personal lives. It's like, okay, what's really important here?
Yeah. And what do
We're living through this. Yes.
What do
I mean, honestly, from this day forward, we can be whoever we want to be, though. If you want to be happy, you can choose to be happy. If you want to be miserable and go take from other people, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's your choice. But from this day forward, you can be who you want to be. You can be that happy, positive person that makes a difference.
And,
so, I mean,
and not postponing things, you know, like Mika, our daughter, had a day off school because the teachers had some courses. And I was like, come on, again, school is off. Like, I have to work. And then I thought, okay, it's beautiful weather. It was snowing the whole Tuesday and Tuesday night. So Wednesday morning, we got up really early to go snowboarding or skiing. And my husband was like, what? You're going, the two of you? I'm jealous. I wanted. And then he switched his shift, and we had the best ski day ever. The the powder was so good. I told Mika, like, yeah, you're a poor girl now. With 9-year-old, you had the best powder of your life already. And it was such an amazing day. But I could have said, like, yeah, well, let's stay at home. We have the whole season in front of us. And now ski resources are closed. And I'm so happy that we went there. And that's something I learned from all the death in my friend circle. Like, it can be over anytime. We don't need a virus to learn that.
Right.
but I think also we don't need illness or like a catastrophe in your personal life to learn certain things. We can decide, like, what do I want? I want to do what my heart is calling myself, and don't postpone things, because you don't know how the circumstances will be tomorrow or in a week. So do the things you're called to do. I don't think we should do like all the things because it could be too late tomorrow. That's a stress again. But like what you're into, what you're drawn to, do it right now. Write your book now. If you always wanted to write one, that's now the time to do it.
Yeah.
We have so many possibilities.
Exactly. It's our time to live. Let's make the most of it.
Yeah.
We're being forced to be with ourselves. That's the big thing right now, right? Whether it's just with your family or it's with yourself, whatever it is, we're forced to be that way and stop all the busyness in life and actually reconnect to who we are. We're being reset again. It's like, okay, what can we really do to make things better and different now?
What would be your prompt to journal about, to learn, if you're now stuck at home and you have so much time? What would you give the listeners and the audience? What kind of homework would you give them, or do you give them? Like,
well, that's the big thing. That, I mean, as I said earlier, let's plan for the worst. Let's think about what we need to do to be prepared for that, and then let's move on. Okay, make your list of what you think could happen, the worst case scenario. Move on once it's done. But I want you to think that through and think about, okay, this is what we need to do here. Let's be prepared. Let's be proactive. Let's not spend all of our money on toilet paper. Let's look at what we can do to take care of every aspect of our lives so that if we're stuck here for 3 weeks, we're good to go. And then from that point, let's plan for a bright future. Let's write that book. Let's communicate with our loved ones. Let's talk about dreams, hopes, aspirations, whatever it is. It's a great time to read. It's a great time to kind of get back to basics of what we want to, who we want to be with life and what we want to do. And then at that point, let's move forward with that. So, I mean, once again, please, though, think about, okay, well, if we are here for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or a week or whatever, a month, whatever, let's think about that, what you think it could be, and then just deal with it and then move on. If we dwell on that, we're just right back to where we are currently. But we have to think about it and plan. Like, okay, let's just conserve water. Instead of drinking one whole water bottle, let's just drink a half a water bottle. Or instead of leaving half, like my kids, leave a water bottle here and over here. And I'm like, okay, we need to rethink things, guys. Let's just be like we should be anyway, right? We should all be paying attention to those things. So that would be my homework, though, is just think about what you need to do to take care of yourself and your family for a week or two, whatever you think is going to be relevant, and then move on. Look for some focus stuff. Get out and walk around. You don't have to be stuck in your house. You can walk around in your backyard. Or if you're in an apartment complex, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to figure that out, figure out what works for you. But you need to get out and get a little bit of physical exercise, get away from Netflix and TV and social media and all this stuff, and just let your brain reset, receive some inspiration, you know, get in touch with your higher power. So I don't know. Hopefully that's something that answers that question, but
it does. And what I was thinking when you said, what do I want to do? What's your big plan and vision? Maybe that would be a nice homework too, to share that with a friend, because when we go out and we talk about this and that and this and that, but talking about dreams, talking about visions, that's something most of the people don't do. So now how about calling a friend or a relative and talk through what's your dream? What's your big dream after that? That would be so cool. Like talking about these topics and not about the gossip and the rumors and everything. That's like so much more uplifting, and you will have great benefit for that, not even now, for forever. Like thinking through your big vision is so cool, and it makes you feel good, and that's what we want.
That's what exactly it. Right.
Thank
that's great.
you so Ronja, much, Darrin.
Let's go ahead and plan on doing another one of these in a few days if you're up for it.
That would be cool.
Just to check back in with each other. Okay.
That would be very
So, I mean,
cool.
if you're up for that, let's just plan on doing that. What works for you? Do you want to do a couple days, or what works?
Let's talk after I hit pause, and let's do that. And
okay.
If you want to be like talk about your techniques and things to do to get through this, please contact me. I'm open for other interviews because I like people like you and me, we have all the wisdom of the universe in us, and with the higher power
we all do. That's the best part.
Invincible. Thank you so much,
let's make sure that
Darrin.
everybody understands, though. Ronja, let's make sure, though, that everybody understands that we're going to continue doing this, and we'll continue talking.
Yeah.
And we'll broadcast these so that people can watch these in the future, okay?
Yes.
So Ronja and I will figure that out, and we're going to figure out what works. But do look forward to, we'll be doing this again in the next couple of days, and we'll just do short little things so that we can all just kind of stay in touch with each other. So if you have any questions after watching this video, please send them to Ronja, and then we'll get my contact information up there too. And you can send us both messages, and we'll answer them, and we'll be in contact, and we'll continue to help us out until we all make it through this. Okay.
That's very cool. And we didn't plan that. And I love that, Darrin. The spontaneous downloads of wherever, we need to act on them. And let's do that. That's cool.
Let's make a difference,
Thank you
let's do
so
our
much.
part. So
yes. How can I make a difference today? That's the final sentence. Thank you for watching, and we will be back. Bye-bye. If you liked this episode, I look forward to a review from you, and it would be so nice to hear from you what you liked best and what is your takeaway, and maybe it sparked some idea. You really are surprised to have this idea now, and you can go and create joy for your life. And please tell me about it. I would love to hear from you. My contact details, you will find them in the show notes. Have a wonderful day!